Your cupboards are full of toilet paper and you have stocked as much as you can for emergency. But what really should you be doing to protect yourself from threats of pandemic? Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Natural remedies have been used by people for centuries, even thousands of years, because they work. Here with me today is my good friend and neighbor, Kim.
Good morning.
Yeah, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Wearing all the green today. In my first video on the coronavirus, I gave you some health tips on boosting the immune system. I also shared with you two theories of the germ theory, where we have no defense and we have to have ulterior things like vaccines and that to help us stay healthy. And then the other one is that we actually have an immune system that is geared to support us, and it collects memories along the way, even in the birth channel, to understand what it should be fighting against and what it shouldn't be. With a lot of cesarean births, that information is not being passed down as it should. Also, we live in an antibiotic and germ-free, kill all of them society, and we have to understand that there are good bacteria that we absolutely need to help us stay healthy. So I will share with you this analogy. Let's say you're having a big party. Well, that's when you could have big parties. Maybe it's a wedding or a birthday party. If it's being held at your home, you kind of know how the capacity of your home, and you can kind of drag out a few food items if more people arrive than you expect. But if you have a wedding at a venue, you have to tell the caterers how many people you will be expecting, and you pay per plate for that venue. And if on the day of the event, twice as many people show up, you will run out of food, you will run out of spaces, you will be in trouble. And that's like our immune system. If the immune system isn't ready for whatever challenge it's going to be presented with, it's going to become overwhelmed. So you might think, okay, I'm healthy right now and everything's good. But if you're not preparing the immune system for something that might come up, and this is not done by giving it a flu vaccine. If you give the body a flu vaccine, it's going to target in on that particular one, and then the COVID-19 comes along, forget it, I'm busy. I'm overwhelmed, forget it. So we know that the type of viral infection spread by the COVID-19 attacks the respiratory system, and people can be walking around with it and not even know that they have it. So you need to make sure that your immune system is alerted. Not that it has to be going full force. We certainly don't want that. We want it to be able to go full force when the occasion arises. Do you know that 42% of Americans are vitamin D deficient? And there is a huge relationship to being deficient and being more susceptible to this condition. Right off the bat, these people will be more susceptible to getting the virus than a person who has been taking good high levels of vitamin D and preparing their body. Thank you all for attending. I appreciate you. So, optimum levels of vitamin D are between 80 and 100 nlmg, nanoliters per milligram. And it's easy to get a test, and it's simple to get some really good supplementation to raise those vitamin D levels up. I've seen it so many times. I also talked about elderberry and how this has been shown to be very effective in supporting the immune system, especially respiratory health. There are lots of herbs that support the respiratory system. You have mullein, you have echinacea, licorice, you have astragalus. It's a wonderful herb that helps you in the change of seasons and adjusting to hot and cold or time zones. It's really wonderful. When you combine herbs, you create this beautiful synergistic effect. And so more, in this case, is often more powerful than one. There are tons of studies out there, the effectiveness of nano silver. Now, I've talked with you about my silver before, Silver Shield. I absolutely love it. I use it for a lot of different things. But this is information that's out there. If you just Google the science behind silver, nano silver. Now, not just, there's a difference. Nano silver is such a fine particle that it can go into the bloodstream. Colloidal silver, the ones that settle at the bottom, are big and chunky. They are not going to go through the bloodstream. Now, this is a study done by Science Direct, and it states, to date, the efficacy of using these applications as an antiviral has been checked against, and it goes on to show you how many viral conditions it has arrested and acted upon. There's over 20 different varieties, and it keeps growing because of the unique way it works. So what it does is, there's this little chart that you can get from Science Direct, and it shows that when the nanoparticles of silver land on the receptor site, it plugs that receptor site, and it no longer can any virus get into that cell. It also works with bacteria and mold. So now here's the beauty of it. It keeps on going. It's like the Energizing Bunny. You know, it keeps on going. It produces, and then it can come off and plug up other receptor sites because it keeps leaving particles and doing its job. It keeps replicating, and it's non-toxic. You can drink the whole bottle, waste a lot of money, but it wouldn't hurt you. So I love it. I think it's a marvelous tool in my health toolbox, and I use it for a variety of things. When I go on vacation, there's always a bottle in my checked luggage because I never know what I'm going to come across. I use the gel on my face and hands, and the gel is beautiful. It lasts for 4 hours, so it's very beneficial. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how to make your own hand towels that sanitize. So viruses have to enter the cell membrane in order to duplicate. They cannot replicate on their own. They must hijack some of your cell structure in order to replicate. So this virus, if you get it and you're taking silver, it can't replicate because the silver is plugging up those areas of receptor sites where the virus would enter. So now what the CDC wants you to believe is that the only way to stop this virus is to get a vaccine. But you know, we all know that vaccines are, well, here's another analogy. What would you say if I wanted to sell you a flip phone? No way, Jose. I mean, it's like the flip phones are yesterday. Well, vaccines are the flip phones in your system of yesterday because these viruses can make different viruses as quick as technology creates new phones. So the COVID-19 of today, next month might be nCoV CoVid-19, or it might be COVID-20. It's constantly changing and mutating, and it's ridiculous to think that the vaccine is the solution. It is not the solution. Well, the solution is get your immune system on board and get it healthy. So the conclusion on this study says nanosilver is the best choice as it is a multifaceted approach. And the fact that viruses can change very rapidly make vaccines ineffective. The same with antiviral drugs because they target a specific entity. And what you want is broad spectrum, right here. Broad spectrum, okay? Something that works on a variety of things. And in the mechanism that it works, it's a beautiful thing. So, here's another beautiful thing. While it's sitting on that receptor site, your immune system can be checking out, looking at other things, and not be targeted into one aspect of ill health. It can be looking for bacterial infections or mold, or you've got allergies. It can be supporting you in whatever allergies you have. So instead of taking something that's going to be full of toxins and fetal tissue and heavy metals and yesterday's virus, it makes more sense to me to be doing something proactive like silver and elderberry and mullein and some of these other things that are actually going to benefit health. So I'm not scared of any virus. What I'm concerned about is how this country is being whipped into a frenzy by those people who are supposed to be protecting us from attack. Why are these level 4 facilities, bioweapon facilities, able to exist? Why aren't people up in arms? Why aren't people out there creating a ruckus? What's happening is the CDC is creating this red herring. Oh, look over here. Oh, look over here. We don't want you to realize that we screwed up major. We let this thing leak. Or that we're testing to see how does this work in public. That is what enrages me. So do the common sense, wash your hands, sneeze into a tissue, throw it away so you can't infect other people, and then start being smart. Boost your immune system, use silver, eat better, forget social distancing and start hugging your loved ones. We need that. We need to know that there's somebody there for us. We need to make sure that we have a strong community and that there are people out there. We're not going to benefit by isolation. We're going to benefit by knowing there are people there that care about us. So boost your immune system, eat lots of cherries and apples and broccoli and those things that have quercetin in it. I did a little article on my Facebook on quercetin and how important that is, and that bromelain is one of the things that help quercetin get into the body, and that's come from pineapple. Recently, I was delighted in finding a recipe for a fermented drink made with the rind of the pineapple, which I hated to throw away. You know, you're buying a beautiful organic pineapple and you have to throw half of it away. So now I got this wonderful drink that I drink every morning, and it helps when you eat fermented foods. It assists in the level of probiotics in your body. So you want to make sure that you're eating some good fermented foods, not just yogurt, but things like sauerkraut or kimchi, or doing some lovely drinks like kombucha. So having a good supply of probiotics in the intestine will help support your immune system greatly. And I use a product called Probiotic 11, and I also use Bacillus coagulans, which is a shelf-stable probiotic. And just getting yogurt in you is not enough. You need to be making sure you're getting those good probiotics in you. So I promised to show you about how to make your own little wipes. So what you do is you take several of your half sheets of paper towels, and this is silver with lemon in it, and you just spray and get it all saturated really, really well. And then you take your scissors and you cut it in half.
Mary, is that lemon juice or lemon essential oil?
Lemon essential oil.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up, Kim.
Okay.
So now you have 6 of these wipes. They're not bleach. You don't have to be afraid of them. They're not going to destroy the good bacteria on your hands. But when you wipe with them, you're going to want to share one?
Sure.
You can wipe your hands. You can wipe your face. You can wipe your phone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and they smell good.
It smells great.
It does.
And the beauty of nano silver is that it's keeping on going. It's the energizing buddy. So you can put it right back together. You can put all these into a Ziploc bag. You can put these in your purse. And I did this on the airplane. We just came back from Florida. And I took it and I wiped off my screen because it was a flight where you could see videos and you touched the screen. I wiped off my tray, the back of my seat, armrest, anywhere I was going to touch. And then I put it back in my bag. And then it was a long flight, so toward the end of it, I did it again. And it not only it smelled good, and you know, air in the plane is really stale.
And it doesn't smell chemically.
Oh,
You know, it
no.
doesn't like, yeah, it's
No.
a good smell.
And then, you know, they pass out wipes and I go, I have my own, thanks very much. And then if you wear a mask, you can spray the inside of the mask, and that will give you at least more than double the pressure of you get to smell something good, and it's going to protect you a whole lot more. When I go grocery shopping, I take my little bag out and I wipe the handles of the grocery cart. I also wipe my hand, make sure I use silver gel, because as you're grabbing stuff to put in your cart, you don't know what's on that. So, you know, it just makes sense to me to use the silver and the silver gel, because we need that healthy pH on our skin. Our skin is going to get dried out by these bleach things and peroxide, and you know, our hands were not meant to handle that. Antibiotic soaps, and it just makes more sense if you're using that. And this is a great little tool. This is a pump sprayer. I don't know if you can see those fine mists, but you spray it into your nose, take a deep breath, and get it into the respiratory system where this bug seems to like to harbor. Now, this is full of silver with 1 drop of Thai fu, and the Thai fu can irritate skin, so you want to make sure you don't use any more than 1 drop, and then you shake it up really good before you go to use it. And I've had some people say it cleared their sinuses, and all kinds of wonderful results from that. We're also told to keep our throat moist, and you can gargle with the silver. You know, you can put just a little bit in your mouth and do a little gargle with it, and then swallow. You can swish it around in your mouth and make sure that it stays in the gums for a few minutes and clear away. Then as you swallow it, it can go into the lymphatic system and start working to support the lymphatics, which is part when the respiratory is lined with mucus. And so all of that is being regenerated with this silver. Each morning I take 2 teaspoons of silver. Now, if I feel like, you know, something has been particularly stressful, I'll take 2 at night. So here's the thing. If in the morning, time for another analogy. So you've had a really dry spell and your lawn is looking pretty grim. It needs to be watered. Are you going to hose that thing down until the water just puddles on there? Or are you going to hose it down a little bit, come back maybe in an hour or so, and then hose it down some more? Which makes more sense? Eke it out or flood it? Now, there are people that are getting 50,000 IU of vitamin D in a shot form. To me, that's ridiculous. Your body cannot handle that much at one time. It's much, much better to eke it out throughout the day so your body can metabolize it as it comes in. So now we've learned too about mushrooms. Now a lot of people don't like the taste of mushrooms. I have a son that picks out every particle of mushroom he can find. And I understand it's kind of rubbery, but the benefits of mushrooms for your immune system is amazing. And so we've got this wonderful powder. It's called My Immune Defense. And you can sprinkle it on food. You can put it in your omelet in the morning, your smoothie. It doesn't hurt if you cook it with it. You can stick it in soups and stews and be getting the benefit. And I encourage you to make more soups during this time. You know, people are home. Get those chickens out of the freezer and start cooking, making beautiful broth. And there's wonderful recipes on the internet. YouTube, I'm always looking up recipes on YouTube. So the supplements I talk about are on my website, bornforhealth.com, and the explanations are under Urban Encyclopedia, and you can look them up from there. And you can also, if you want to, purchase them from there. It's very simple if you don't want to have to go out to the store or whatever. And who knows what the government's going to close next. so you can order it online if you want to. Thank you for the hearts, and please comment if things are interesting to you and you want to know where my resources come from. But I'll let you know that most of these come from greenmedinfo.com, the CDC, the Journal of Clinical Immunology, Mercola.com, Science Direct, and a lot of other wonderful sources. I don't like to just take one source and depend on that. I triangulate the sources, and if they all say the same thing and they're all coming to the same conclusion, that's the information you're going to get. So the host allows for disease to occur through stress, poor diet, lack of sleep, and toxic overload. So examine your life. If you smoke, quit. If you're drinking too much, quit. If you're eating all that junk food, you know, the drive-ins are the only thing that's open. We'll look back on this and say, remember when we used to be able to go into a restaurant? Now you have to drive up and get it. So start by eating an organic apple a day. Even that is going to improve the fiber in it, the quercetin in it. All of these things are going to benefit you. And if you have negative thoughts, cancel them out. If that radio program or TV program is making you upset, shut it off. My goodness, don't be listening to things that are negative, making you panic and worry. You have the strength to improve your health. You just have to do the right things. So life can be a beautiful thing if you let it be. If you need some resources, please email me, drmary@bornforhealth.com. And this information is for you to examine a different way of looking at things. I'm not saying you have to quit doctors. I'm just saying that look at things a little more common sense approach. This thing about hanging on to every panic that comes along and look at what's happening here and look what's happening here, get a grip. This is just fear-based, and you want to live by faith-based. Have faith in your own body that you're strong enough to handle this, that you too will be one of those survivors, that you love your family enough to do what's right and teach your family to do what's right. And replace one item from your diet with something healthy. Each day, maybe each meal even. Diffuse some beautiful essential oils and get that breathing going. Clear the atmosphere. Don't use chemical sprays. They only interfere with health, especially bleach. It is very harmful for the respiratory system to use ammonia and bleach, and extremely toxic if you use them together. So white vinegar, use things that make sense. Share what you've learned. Recommend these videos to your friends and family. Do a watch party. And get some common sense going and let this panic subside. So keep focusing on gratitude. Be thankful for people and gifts of nature all around you, the flowers and all the joy. And thank you for viewing. Until next time, this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It.